Good morning, class. In today's video, we will be talking about astrology. So this will just be a short discussion talking about astrology and how it has been connected to astronomy, especially in the ancient time. Okay, it was very important, although nowadays we don't actually buy that or believe on that, but because of many tests and experiment that prove that it has nothing to do with our lives and our future as well as our fortune, but as part of the history as well as its contribution to our ancient astronomy, then we will be having a short discussion about the astrology. Okay, so for that, let me share my screen to you for a moment. All right. So that's it. So we are now here at this topic, which is about astrology in relation to astronomy. So this topic will be about the origins of astrology, where it has begun, and of course the horoscope as a product of this study that is in relation to astrology, and also the arguments that invalidate the astrology, especially at the modern times. Okay, so many ancient cultures regarded the planets and stars as our representatives or symbols for the gods and other supernatural forces that control their lives. So in ancient time, diba, even people during that time, they worship, like they really believe that those things that they can see in the sky, they are something related to gods, or they are heavenly, something like that, diba? Kasi nga that is why maraming mga tao in the past, diba, na even they worship the sun, the moon, kasi para sa kanila they are something that is like divine. Okay, that they have something to do with our lives, even with our fortune, our future. Okay, so it is very important, especially during that time. Hindi natin pwedeng isipin na how come that they think or believe like that. Kasi 'di ba, parang sasabihin natin wala namang kinalaman yan sa buhay natin, hindi naman yan nakokontrol yung pang-araw-araw nating buhay. How come na those people in ancient time believe, 'di ba? So hindi natin ma-judge yan kasi maybe if we were also one of those na nabuhay or nag-exist during that time, we could have the same thinking, we could have the same idea or ideas like those people. Kasi 'di ba, hindi tayo modern, wala tayong computer, wala tayong kahit anong bagay that could help us to search for the truth, unlike nowadays, 'di ba? So during that time, okay, people really, consider those things, yung mga phenomena na na-observe nila, like they are something that is magnificent, spectacular, na talagang parang iniisip nila gawa to ng Diyos, or it has something related to gods. Okay? So that is why nagkaroon ng astrology na tinatawag. At so it is related to the position of the bodies, the stars there, yung mga nabubuong form, to be the zodiac, to hold the key to understanding about what we can expect from life. Okay, so may kinalaman daw yan sa buhay ng mga tao. Okay, so where does this astrology begin? So it began in Babylonia. So as what we discussed during the ancient astronomy or the history of astronomy, di ba? So this was the ancient civilization, ang naunang maunlad, ang naunang maraming mga contribution, not just in philosophy, in astronomy, in mathematics as well, in agriculture, and many things. Okay, so they all began in Babylonia, as well as this part, which is the astrology. So this astrology influenced the fortunes of kings and nations. So kung meron kayong ibang mga napapanood, diba, ng mga classical movies, or yung mga movies na related sa ancient time, prehistoric, something like that. So yung mga rulers nila, yung mga kings of nation, kagaya minsan, one time may napanood ako sa isang K-drama, no, na parang yung life, yung buhay ng hari ay parang binibase nila sa kanyang zodiac or sa kanyang horoscope, na kung saan, kung ang isang tao, ang isang hari hari ay parang ipinanganak sa isang time or sa isang panahon na kung saan tumapat siya sa specific zodiac, okay, or specific horoscope na hindi maganda. So it's like magiging curse na yon sa buhay ng tao na yon for life, because that was the belief, okay, during that time. Kaya nga parang na naka-base yung swerte, okay, yung fortune ng mga rulers, lalo na mga rulers, napaka-importante niya na dapat maganda yung zodiac nila, maganda yung signs nila, horoscope nila, something like that, para maging maganda yung kanilang magiging buhay, yung kanilang pamumuno, and everything that is related to their lives. Okay? So that is why hindi lang to nag-start sa Babylonia, it even spread out. So 'di ba kagaya din ng development ng astronomy, it has begun from Babylonia to Egypt, 'di ba? To Greece and to Rome. So same thing with this, 'di ba? Kumbaga parang ano rin 'yan kumbaga parang discovery 'yan na kumalat unti-unti, 'di ba? And nagkaroon din naman sila ng mga writings in relation to this. So that is why there's really a tendency that it could be spread, okay? Or it could spread out from one specific place to other countries and as well as to the Western world nga na sinasabi natin, no? Okay, so it has started actually during in the ancient time, and at the time of 2nd century BCE, the Greeks democratized astrology. Okay? So planets influence every individual in particular. So hindi na siya parang kagaya nung umpisa lang na parang importante siya especially sa buhay ng mga kings and rulers. But this time, ginamit na rin siya para sa bawat tao. Kumbaga yung bawat tao, nagkaroon na rin sila ng mga kanya-kanyang zodiac na kung saan ay ginagamit na rin, 'di ba, para i-predict or i-predict ang magiging future nila, 'di ba, kung ano yung magiging buhay nila. Okay? So hindi na lang siya para sa mga kings and rulers. So nag-spread out na rin siya na maging ordinary people is they are also adapting. Okay? Ginagamit na rin sa kanila yung concept about astrology. So ito nga katulad nitong first thing dito na na sinasabi diyan, which is the natal astrology. So when we say natal astrology, it has something to do with the birth of the person, di ba? It is something related to the configuration of the sun, moon, and planets at the moment that a person was born, okay? Doon sa time na pinanganak siya. At based on that arrangement, nakikita ng mga tao dyan na parang it has something to do with their personality, with their fortune, na depende sa arrangement na yan, kung ano yung magiging pag-uugali ng mga tao, no, kung ano yung magiging kapalaran niya, kung ano yung magiging kinabukasan niya, magiging successful ba siya in the future or magiging failure ang kanyang buhay, okay, something like that. So about astrology, so natal astrology reached its peak with Ptolemy, okay, 400 years later. So from the time that it has started from that particular place in Babylonia, in after 100 years, so parang kumbaga na-reach ng astrology yung talagang lahat ng tao has been influenced by this, okay? Na it has become their treatise nga na tinatawag. Kaya nga nagkaroon ng tetrabiblos na ginawa ni Ptolemy that has something to do with astrology, na kung saan na i-record, na isulat yung mga different ano na yan, pattern na yan or signs or symbols na yan in relation to the birth of someone. Okay, so naging parang Biblia nila yan nung araw, because during that time there was no Christianity. They don't believe yet in the existence of God, na meron tayong pinaniniwalaan sa ating, for example in Christianity, okay, that God created this world, and then he created Adam and Eve to be our ancestors. And then kumalat yung Christianity hanggang dumating yung Messiah, the Savior Jesus, and so on and so forth. And during that time, even the Islam was not yet being established, okay? Kaya ito yung unang religion, kumbaga parang unang religion ng mga tao. They all believe on that. It has been very powerful. Kaya hindi natin, kumbaga, masisisi na up to the present time, up to the moment, still there are a lot of people who are, depending their lives and everyday lives or activities on their horoscope. Kaya nga hanggang ngayon, I don't know kung hanggang ngayon na, but when I was younger, during my high school days, mga ganyan, college days, okay, uso pa rin yan na sa mga programs sa TV, there is a certain part ng program na kung saan, halimbawa, parang kunwari yung mga TV program in the morning, bago ka pumasok, yung mapapanood mo sa TV, may part sila doon or may segment sila doon na kung saan meron sila dyang parang someone who is, interpreting, explaining about the horoscope of people na, for example, kung ikaw ay Sagittarius, okay, tapos covered ka ng sign na ito. Ngayon, nagbago na yan, di ba? Kung covered ka ng sign na ito, and today, itong pwedeng mangyari sa'yo, no? So, pag napanood mo yan, for example, ako noon, I was also believing on that kasi syempre, bata pa tayo, no? Hindi pa tayo aware, kulang pa tayo sa knowledge, especially sa knowledge in science, that it was not, that astrology is really, something that affects our lives, okay? So, pagka sinabi doon, may pwedeng may mangyari sa'yo, kailangan maging maingat ka, gato ganyan. Mayroon aapektuhan yung buong buhay mo at isip mo at pwedeng ang magkaroon ng pagkakataon na baka nga may mangyari ka sa'yo kasi talagang naiisip mo siya, no? So, ganun din, parang may mga reading sila, di ba, na itong mga ganitong sign, ganito yung maapapangasawa mo, di ba, ganito yung magiging future mo, magiging successful ka or hindi sa ganitong part, di ba, and so on and so forth. And then yung mga tao talagang bilib na bilib sila dyan, biling-bili yung mga ganyang paniniwala. I don't know nowadays, no? I don't know with you kung kayo, you might be still believing on that, okay? We respect that if you still believe on that. But then, since we are here in this subject, which is science, that is actually always proving something through test, experiment, okay? And that is why later on we will be discussing that the astrology nowadays has been disproved, okay, by science. But then we respect it to be, part of this astronomy as part of the knowledge that has been contributed to astronomy, okay? So that's it. Okay, that is why ito nga yung sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina, no? So there was a chart made by people in ancient time that is being until this time being used by some. Okay, they are still believing on this, they are still holding on this. Na minsan, 'di ba, nakaano pa rin sa kanila na ito ang horoscope ko, ako ay Pisces, ako ay Gemini and so on. And ngayon nagbago na, medyo nag-iba na yung yung date, yung parang dati kung ikaw ay under ng Sagittarius, ngayon parang medyo nag-iba na kasi it has something to do with the dates, parang something like that. Hindi na rin kasi ako interested, especially nung time na, yun nga, I learn a lot, especially nadagdagan yung knowledge natin, nakapag-aral tayo, na-educate tayo, and then, yun, nabawasan yung ignorance natin when it comes to topics related to that. So anyway, so going back, horoscope is a chart showing the positions of the planets in the sky at the moment of individual's birth. Kaya nga may range yan eh. Kung halimbawa pinanganak ka ng ganitong specific horoscope. So that horoscope came from the word or the Greek word, as we know, di ba? Sa mostly many things have started from Greece. Kaya mostly yung mga terms natin na ginagamit ngayon, they are based from Greek terms. Okay, so that is from hora, that means time, and scopus, that means watcher or marker. Okay, so that's why your horoscope can literally be translated as the marker of the hour. Okay, marker of the hour, parang it marked the date, it marks the day when you were born. Okay, so parang ganun siya, and at the same time watcher. So kasi nga it has something to do with your destiny, your life, your fortune, and everything. Okay? So, ay, naulit siya. Anyway, so astrology today, and nowadays astrology, they use the same basic as what has been done by Ptolemy nearly 2,000 years ago. So they cast horoscopes in a process much simplified by the development of the appropriate computer programs and suggested interpretation. So nagkaroon ng improvement when it comes to astrology. Actually, hanggang ngayon, may mga tao pa rin nag-e-enroll or nag-aaral ng in a field or in a field related to astrology. Okay? So, ayun, may mga development sila, and then some of those are still on the basis of what has been started by Ptolemy in his Tetrabiblos, na kung saan, kumbaga nga, parang yun yung Bible nila ng astrology. Okay? So, ayan. And as what I was telling a while ago, na in the modern time, the scientists and researchers, they try to prove to many people who are still believing on this that there is no evidence that the natal astrology has any predictive power even in statistical sense. So gumamit sila ng mga tao, for example, mga members ng isang group ng Olympics, for example, and then they use that in the experiment. They use statistics na kung saan tiningnan nila yung mga personality ng mga taong kabilang or nako-cover, for example, ng isang sign, okay, ng isang zodiac sign, and then they found out that their personality has nothing to do with their zodiac. Okay, so walang kinalaman. At ganun din naman yung mga naging kinalabasan ng buhay nila in the future. Okay, and everything that is related to their lives that has been described, na kung saan kapag ka daw ganito yung 'di ba, alam niyo yan, yung sign mo, ganito yung personality mo, pero sa pag-aaral hindi yan napatunayan, no? Iba-iba pa rin ang personality natin. Dito na pumapasok yung siyensya natin, like yung genetics, 'di ba? In genetics, walang kinalaman yung sign mo, walang kinalaman yung zodiac mo sa ugali mo or sa mga traits na meron ka at sa magiging future mo. That is in genetics. Ang nagpo-prove dyan is the genes, okay? Yung genes that you have inherited from your parents and even from your ancestors, okay? Yung nananalaytay sa dugo mo, okay? That has something to do with your personality, as well as kung ano yung buong pagkatao mo, with your strength and weakness and so on, okay? Even your blood type. So that's the essence, okay, of the science. That's the essence of researching. That's the essence of experimenting. Okay, so that is why up to this moment, so it has proven na talagang walang kinalaman, okay, yung astrology. Although kahit na may mga facts na tayo na ganyan, still marami pa rin tao, lalo na yung medyo may mga edad na, yung mga matatanda na talagang influence pa sila ng mga old beliefs. They still by that beliefs na hanggang ngayon they still base their lives, their activities, okay? Ang na-realize ko lang dyan, nung time na naniniwala pa nga ako dyan, parang, yun nga, masyadong naaapektuhan din yung everyday lives mo na everyday, babasahin mo sa newspaper, ngayong araw na ito, ganito yung mangyayari sa'yo, ganito yung magiging, pwede kang mapahamak or swertehin and so on. Alam mo yun, parang ayan tuloy, hindi ka nagkakaroon ng peace of mind sa pamumuhay mo sa everyday kasi nakatanim sa isip mo yung nabasa mo kaninang umaga na magiging pwedeng mangyari sa mga Sagittarius ngayong araw, sa mga Gemini ngayong araw, and so on. So, bakit may mga tao pa rin na naniniwala hanggang ngayon? Ba't may mga tao pa rin they still buy that? That is because of the tactics na ginagamit lalo na nung mga naniniwala dyan o yung mga expert, okay, sa astrology. So, kasi it has something to do on how they are dealing and talking with people. Kasi nga daw, based on the research, kasi yung mga ganitong tao kasi kapag nakipag-usap sila, 'di ba, they tend to listen to you, 'di ba? And it helps the person kung meron siya mga pinagdadaanan, 'di ba? Pwede niyang i-share doon. So sasagutin naman siya nung for example, yun ngang expert diyan na kung saan ganito kasi dahil sa horoscope mo and so on and blah blah. So ano siya, parang yung emotion mo, 'di ba? And at the same time, yung parang tao, yung paniniwala na may taong naniniwala sa'yo, nakikinig sa'yo, And they are using the mga terms na related to that to help the person, 'di ba? Na matulungan ka doon sa mga issues mo sa buhay kasi nga pwede nandiyan sila nakikinig sa iyo. Yun yung kasi yung parang ginagamit nilang strategy diyan na kung saan there is someone who is listening to you. Okay? So, they are giving the simple truth to their client. Okay? Kaya nga marami pa rin hanggang ngayon ang naniniwala diyan. So, that is why it is still beneficial to others. Okay? Lalo na ang gusto ng mga tao minsan kasi yung maririnig nila yung gusto nila, yung magiging pabor sa kanila, yung magiging maganda para sa kanila. Kaya nga marami pa ring nahuhumaling doon sa mga taong katulad yan, yung mga nanghuhula na nag-e-explain ng tungkol sa kapalaran ng tao based sa horoscope nila and something like that. Okay? So, yun. That is why. So, that is why there are still people who are believing on this topic or this matter. Okay, so okay, I think that will be all for the astrology. So yun lang naman, it's a very short part of the topic that is related to astrology because we will be discussing later on about Ptolemy na including ito nga isa sa mga contribution niya na kung saan he made the treatise for the tetrabiblos in relation to the record of the facts and the knowledge related to horoscope, zodiac, and signs of the people. And the people really believe on that and they hold on that for how many years. And as what I have told you up to the present time, there are still some people who are holding on these beliefs. Okay, so that would be all for this video. See you again next time. So goodbye.